And if you can see the bee behavior from there, the bees are they're all pointing up because they're attracted toward the sun, and they're all starting to migrate up, not to the queen cage. They're going to the queen cage, but they can't smell her anymore. They're smelling the bees on the outside of the queen cage, giving off a different scent. So it's an orientation pheromone which says, okay, orient to this spot, everybody. And then they like to stop and rest, so we give them a little bit of push with the smoke. The smoke stops them from communicating with each other. So they can't smell that orientation pheromone, so they say, well, okay, let's get going. And they start moving. So we just make sure the smoke is not hot, so we don't hurt them. Okay, so Eric is getting the third queen cage out. And Frank is not yet thinking, why am I here? But he will in a few minutes. Oh, we started the third person. Yeah, it's too late, sorry. Sorry, man. Tomorrow if you're here.
What? How you doing?
Hey, good. And we just hang it up. So there are three, so work with Leanne's. There are three sensations that Frank is going to feel. The first sensation is a tickling. As the bees walk on you, they're really light. There's 10 bees to a gram of weight. So they're really light, but you can still feel the tickling sensation. And then the second feeling is a prickling sensation, because the bees have two claws at the end of their feet, their tarsi, and they actually hold onto the skin like the plastic monkeys game, and they hold onto each other that same way. So you'll feel this prickling sensation, and then if the bees are on long enough, you have this weight and this heat, so it becomes really hot, like about 35 C, hotter than right now in the yard. So the three sensations. And so with somebody new, we start really slowly, so he gets used to like just the bees flying around, bumping into him, so he doesn't, start flinching. And then we'll put a couple on him, so once he feels them on his skin, we'll see whether the sensation he's comfortable with, and he can go on. And if he can't go on, that's fine too. We just brush him off and then pull the little 3-year-old out of the crowd. And you notice that, see, on Tiana, we're not feeding the bees on her, and look what's happening already. See, she's central in the yard. She has a queen cage on her, and it's a very attractive pheromone, and there's no smoke on her. So they can smell the pheromone better than the queen over there, and they'll start to orient. And once we get the orientation pheromone going, she'll end up with this big cluster. It'll just get bigger and bigger as time goes on. Okay, that's good. That's excellent. So let's just start playing on the other yellow card. Eric? Just call Leanne if you want help with that.
He's not going to happen.
We're not going to come. I still told Leanne, call if you need help, and Eric says to her, well, she can't hear. He said it's not going to happen. Okay, so we just dump. I just put my hand there in case the dump. Okay, so this is not obviously the beard nor the start of the beard. This is so Frank gets comfortable with the bees around him. And when we do this for the film industry. Sometimes the actors who wear the bees have to come back like 5 or 6 times before they stop flinching. But they're not volunteers. Frank's a volunteer, so he can't. How's that? Is that better? Sorry about that. Okay, so when we I bet you the battery's gone. Hang on.
Although that's lovely, huh?
Testing, testing, testing.
Oh, she can smile.
How's that? Is that better? Is it clearer? Can you hear right to the back? Can you hear back there? Okay, great. So the bees that we just put on Frank's card here are just to get him used to the bees flying around and on him. So now he's got about 20 on the cage, and we're just going to dump them closer to the bottom and get them onto his skin so that he gets that sense, he feels the sensation of the bees crawling on him. So there's one here on his neck now, and we'll find out in a few minutes whether he can handle that or it's too creepy for him. Okay, leave you for a second? Okay. Just like that, yep. And look at Tiana's bee beard growing nicely. That's good. Okay, put your arms down, but don't put them tight to your side in case you pinch one in your armpit. Okay, so now is the chance they'll go up her shorts, but likely they won't. If they do, they'll come back out. They'll probably just go back up into her. Oh, she has something to say about that later. Okay, how you doing, Leanne?
Great.
Okay. So Leanne is good for now. We're going to add bees on Frank if he's okay with it.
I'm fine.
Okay, Frank's good. They're crawling on you. You can feel them? Okay, he's all good. Yeah. Right toward the end. Just now, Frank. The instructions to Frank is basically to. Can you hear that? Is it cutting out? Can't hear it. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, that's good. How's that? Did you hear that? Is that okay? No? Can you work on this? I just put it in there. Make sure it's not upside down. Backwards. And I can adjust the old one. So this is the start of Frank's beer. Can you hear me in the back if I yell when we get the micro? Okay, then just wait. We'll get it going. Eric, can you smoke this up? Hey, how are you? No, you're the orientation. You got like, you can see what's there, right? There's or can you pull them off if they get into an uncomfortable place for it? You don't need your veil. How's that? Can you hear that? Is that better? Okay, great. Excellent. So Leanne's beard is finished. And the longer we leave it on her, the more the bees will go up higher. So they'll just keep coming up the side of her face to the top of her head, fly off, come back down, fly off, come back down. So we're going to go as quick as we can on Frank's beard here to get the two going before we dump them both onto Tiana. And Warren there is picking the bees off of Leanne. He works. His job is to collect wasp nests and bee swarms. That's what he does. He's one of the drives a Ghostbuster ambulance with a ladder on top, and he goes out and he collects these. Okay, how are you doing, Frank?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, Frank's doing fine. The bees are going on him nicely, and the cluster is starting on. A nice cluster is starting, and on Leanne we have about 5,000 or 6,000 bees on her. Tiana still's got a couple of hundred on her, but they're landing. This one is gonna be great. So when we do this in the film industry, this technique is used if we put the bees on a window, a car window, or the side of a building. You take a queen in a cage, you tape her onto the inanimate object, and you put the bees right beside her, usually on a piece of cardboard, and they walk up. Or you can toss them in the air, like when I toss the bees in the bottom at the ant's shirt, they just basically drop, fly up, and they land on her. Okay. Yeah. So now, again, the bee behavior, watching the bee behavior first to make sure that there's no aggression and that they are acting appropriately for bee beard, and this is perfect behavior. The bees are fanning the orientation pheromone. They're saying, okay, here's the queen, everybody. No problem. And then we look at the volunteer, and the volunteer, Frank, is his shoulders are down, he's relaxed, he's grounded. Perfect. Because the bees will smell fear. But in this case, they're acting, both the model and the bees are acting perfectly.